years ago. He began his college at Christopher Newport University, graduated from University of Virginia in 2008, and currently lives in New York City doing stand-up comedy. Talk about stepping outside your comfort zone. Please welcome Mr. Peter Fliddell.
First, I'd like to thank Mr. Person, Dr. Hattrick, Snowbridge's faculty and staff for allowing me to speak to you all today. As a proud Snowbridge graduate, being in front of you this afternoon is honestly one of the greatest honors of my adult life. I'd also like to thank the class of 2013 for extending this invitation to me. It was 9 years ago that I was in your very position, listening to our graduation speaker and thinking, when is this guy going to shut up so I can hurry and get to Beach Week? Yeah. Well, there are some things that are more important than Beach Week, though, all right? You have to go to your graduation party snips. Your friends and relatives can give you all the money that you're going to spend in Beach Week. Loudon was just named by Forbes as like the richest county in the country or something like that, so you guys are going to have a lot of checks to sign tonight, so I'll make this brief. I thought about what I could say to you that would be a little bit more impactful than all the cliches and platitudes are being spoken in graduation ceremonies across the country this year while people just sit and check Twitter the entire time. I thought maybe I could connect with a message that resonates with people your age, something like, YOLO is not an excuse to do whatever stupid thing pops into your head. You may only live one life, but in that one life, you must YOLO responsibly, okay? Or maybe I could make a point about modern technology and the way it's shaping the world you're going to be entering. But I'm 27, which is pretty young by most standards, and even I don't understand most of the stuff that's out there right now. So it's going to come out all wrong and probably not make a whole lot of sense. I don't want to end a graduation speech with, when you're climbing the vine of life, you're going to want to Snapchat all your followers. Don't forget to make time to Instagram your grandmas. But I soon realized the best advice can only come from my own personal experiences. As I look back over the past 9 years to try and parse out any insight or words of wisdom I could share, one common theme held true with me. Is the importance of not staying complacent, no matter what success you've already achieved. You need to seek out challenges and then attack them with confidence. After I graduated Snowbridge in 2004, I went to Christopher Newport University to play football. Some might think that riding the bench on a Division III team for no scholarship money doesn't sound like a big deal, but it certainly meant a lot to me at the time. Here's something I never really talked about. When I played football here for Coach Thompson, I wasn't that good. If you watch my highlight tape, it's mostly just me celebrating while other people make tackles. But CNU put me on because I had a good attitude and was willing to work hard, so initially I was happy just to be on the team. After some time at CNU, I realized that I wanted to finish my college education at the University of Virginia. It was always a dream school of mine, but I didn't have the required 4.5 thousand GPA to get out of high school. I wasn't accepted when I applied early admission. Your valedictorians had a GPA of 4.68. Oh my gosh. I did not know that GPAs went that high, which is probably part of the reason I didn't get into UVA in the first place. But with the good grades at CNU, I made it in my involvement in a varsity sport. UVA seemed to think I was a better candidate this time around. They accepted me for my last few years of college as a transfer. I could have just taken a victory lap here and spent my last 2 years of college being a normal student and using my free time outside of class for taking naps. I had gotten into my dream school, so I had earned it, right? Plus, as you get older, you're going to realize that there are few things in this world greater than taking an awesome nap. But there was this part of me that still wanted to reach higher to see what else I could challenge myself with. So I had a crazy thought. What if I tried out for the football team at UVA? They must have been really impressed with the athleticism I displayed in my tackle celebrations because I made the UVA football team as a walk-on. This was a dream come true within a dream come true. It was like that movie Inception, but not as confusing with a way better ending. But after the excitement faded, the hard reality of the situation sunk in. I would be taking classes at UVA, one of the most difficult schools in the country, while playing Division I football alongside guys like Chris Long, Eugene Monroe, and Brandon Albert, all of whom went in the first round of the NFL draft. It was a huge step up in difficulty level, both academically and athletically. And I'm not going to lie, I was pretty scared. Terrified. I was more terrified than a high school offensive lineman trying to block Jonathan Allen one-on-one. dude, you're a beast, man. I was at the McLean game where you suplex that quarterback over your head. I nearly peed myself. That was so awesome. But this is a common roadblock you face whenever presented with a major challenge. You question yourself and your ability to succeed. But there's one simple thing that can get you through difficult and scary situations when you're not sure how it's going to turn out for you. That thing is a positive mental attitude. The internal confidence to take a step back, survey the situation, and simply say, I've got this. The way you approach something and the level in which you confidently carry yourself through it will, more often than not, determine your outcome. There's a lot of different names for this. The secret, the power of positive thinking, swag. Although when Justin Bieber co-ops swag is his thing, I don't think we can use it anymore. I don't, like, what's the matter with that kid? It looks like he always, like, just ate a bunch of Sour Patch Kids. He's making a weird face all the time, just like, I don't get it. The point is, it goes by many names, but it's a real thing. And at a time when I doubted myself the most, it's what brought me through to the end. I left UVA infinitely enriched by the challenges I was initially so afraid of. So after college, I got a job, became an adult, and was promptly bored out of my mind. I was bored because I wasn't challenging myself like I had been for the past few years, so I knew what I had to do. When I was little, I had this dream of becoming a stand-up comedian like my heroes Jerry Seinfeld and Chris Rock. But who was I? What original thing did I have to say? There was no way I could actually make it, could I? That self-doubt started to take over. But then I thought back to all the other times I put myself outside my comfort zone and taken on what seemed like an impossible challenge. Becoming a varsity football player at Stonebridge, pushing myself for better grades in college so I can get into UVA, getting in and walking on the football team, finishing my football career and graduating on time with a UVA degree were my proudest achievements. I had been outside my comfort zone in every one of those situations, but came through in the end by keeping my mind right. If I'd been able to do all that before, why not now with stand-up? So I went to my first open mic in December of 2008, and I bombed. Terribly. No one laughed at one of my jokes the entire time. But for some reason, I kept going back, and I kept getting better. I kept going back, and I kept getting better. I still consider myself a work in progress as a stand-up, but I'm finding little victories along the way. I've been able to perform in front of large audiences with some of my favorite comedians, people that I see on TV and admire and respect. I stood off stage 5 feet from Jerry Seinfeld as he works out new jokes and tells them to audiences for the first time. I traveled to South Dakota to perform at a college in March and was worried about how I was going to make all of them laugh. Things are kind of different out there in South Dakota. They say things like, welcome to the finest restaurant in town, Applebee's. Some things still carry over though. They still watch Teen Mom on MTV, but out there it's called Modern Family. But I kept that positive mental attitude, the show went fine, and I got paid, which might have been the best part about the whole thing. I think that's another important lesson you kids should take home today. Always make sure to get paid. Mr. Person, we're going to talk after all this wraps up. Alright, so here's what I'm going to leave you guys with. Your life is surely going to take a different path than mine, but there are some things that are going to stay constant. As you move forward, you're going to find yourself in situations that place you outside of your comfort zone, both by your own choosing and by fate. And you're going to need a positive mental attitude to guide yourself through it. Luckily for you, you already have the foundation to succeed in those situations because you attended Stonebridge High School. Stonebridge is a real special place. Just take it from me, I've been out in the world for a little bit of time. You have faculty and staff who push and challenge you, a great community of peers that you learn from, not to mention it's home to the best football program in Northern Virginia and definitely the best football program in Loudoun County. People can say whatever they want about those other 2 schools down the street, but until you got to go against the Eastern Region every year, I'm not that impressed with you, okay? The point is, you all are taking something away from here that'll help you in the future. The same way that Coach Thompson taught me how to be tough, how Mrs. Thompson taught me to speak in public with the effective use of the pause, how Mrs. Celia taught me to express my creative side, how my best friends, some of whom are sitting in the audience and came out to support me today, taught me that being yourself is the best way to get people to like you. You're going to be filling a lot of different roles as you progress throughout your life. Student, employee, mentor, friend, quarterback, teacher, engineer, boyfriend, girlfriend, son, daughter, etc. And tough situations are going to present themselves in every one of those roles. But all you have to do is step back, take a moment and say, I've got this. Your attitude will determine your outcome. If you have 4 different assignments due on the same day and aren't sure you'll be able to get them done on time, just say, I've got this. If you have to wake up for 6 a.m. workouts and all you want to do is stay in bed, just say, I've got this. If your boss puts you on a tight deadline and work is the last thing on your priority list right now, just say, I've got this. If you're on a field trip to Baltimore, and you jump in the inner harbor because a friend said he'd pay you $100, only you can't pull yourself out of the water and a large crowd is starting to form. And after a while, the police, fire department, and the Channel 8 News show up. And there will eventually be rumors that there was a dive team there, but there will be no dive team. And the police are debating whether or not to arrest you. And remember, you're in Baltimore, and you have not seen The Wire yet, so you don't realize how big of a deal that is. And the first word Mr. Person hears about all of this is when the principal from Heritage High School calls him up and says, we heard a student jumped off a bridge on a field trip, and they're currently looking for his body. Just say, I've got this. Find a way to pull yourself out. And Mrs. Celia will buy you some dry clothes from the Gap. All right, maybe just avoid that last thing. That's a personal thing. But never shy away from those other challenges. Your present challenges will become your future successes. And you're prepared for them because of your time at Stonebridge. Don't ever forget that. Thank you, congratulations, and good luck to the class of 2013.